Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, and I want it all from the lights to the mistletoe. Tell me one thing, is there anything that you're missing? I will keep you warm as soon as you remove that snow.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Courtney and this is Creative on the Cheap. Today I have got 3 Christmas DIYs that will cost you less than $1 to make. They are super easy to do and super fast. And speaking of fast, this is the craziest time of year for me, as I'm sure it is for some of you. So when EveryPlate reached out to me to see if I'd want to partner with them, I was ecstatic. EveryPlate is a meal service that allows you to look at a weekly menu and pick out meals from the menu. They then send you the ingredients for the meals along with the recipe cards, and all you have to do is cook it up. They cost $4.99 per serving or per meal, which is less than a fast food combo. And the best part is they are providing me a coupon code for all of you guys to try it out for 3 weeks at $2.99 a meal. That is so cheap and probably way cheaper than a frou-frou drink from Starbucks. Now, if you haven't tried them out, I hope you will give them a chance because they are really delicious. We loved every single meal that we tried, and I'm looking forward to ordering more. So without further ado, thank you again, EveryPlate, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get into these easy DIYs. For the first DIY, I'm going to be transforming 3 of these wooden planks from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take some of this brown cream wax from Folk Art, and I'm going to put 1 coat on all 3 of these boards on the front and on the sides of the board. I got a little heavy-handed on this first one, so I'm sharing the wealth by taking off as much excess as I can and put it on the other 2, but all 3 of these are going to get a nice coat of the wax.
Whatever we do, we will be all right. These holiday wonders will open your mind. May all your wishes tonight come true.
Once the boards are all dry, I'm going to take some twine, as you can see on these 2 that I've already done, and just wrap it around the top of the board 3 times, securing it with hot glue to the back.
I lived the dream I knew. This Christmas I only wanna be close to you.
And now I'm going to take my white Sharpie paint pen and I'm going to draw trees, Christmas trees, on each of these boards. So each board is going to have a different type of tree. I just kind of jumped on Pinterest and looked around for some whimsical rustic trees, I believe is what I searched, to try to find some that looked good or to give me some ideas. And so I decided I'm just going to freehand this and see what happens. And luckily it turned out good. If you're not quite fond of that, I'd recommend using just some chalk, and you can outline your tree with a piece of chalk first and then go back in with the Sharpie markers. So I'm just going to go in and draw it out, and then I ended up having to do 2 coats. So after it dried, I went back with the paint marker one more time and traced over it just to make sure it was nice and white. The last step is to take some tower blocks and go ahead and glue on a little base so that they'll stand up. Now, if you want them to stand straight up and down and not be completely stable, then glue your tower block at the very base of the little sign. But I found that on one of them, I accidentally kind of glued it not quite flush with the bottom, and it gave it a natural little lean, which was nice. So that's what I end up doing, is I go back and peel off the 2 that didn't do that, and I fix it. And that's it. This Dollar Tree DIY is all finished.
Whatever we do, we will be all right.
For the next DIY, we're going to be working with some wooden beads. I always get my beads on Amazon, so you can definitely look in the description box if you want to see the ones that I always get. So you're going to need 7 beads total. Your center bead, you're just going to need one of those, and then you're going to have 3 sets of 2 that are the same size. And to get these strung up, I'm just using some twine, and what you want to do is take your twine and just fold it in half. Then you're going to feed both of the ends into the beads, and that way you kind of have a loop at one end and then you have loose ends at the other. Once you get the beads all on the string, or the twine I should say, you're going to want to start at the top where the loop is, and you're just going to tie a knot. I did go in with some hot glue to kind of secure it, but by starting here at the top, you can kind of push the beads down a little bit if you need to help you get that knot tied. And like I said, a little bit of a dab of hot glue on that bead right there next to the knot kind of helps it hold secure. And then you're going to tie a knot on the other end.
These holiday wonders will open your mind. May all your wishes tonight come true. The love I live, the dream I knew.
So that's what the plain ones look like. Now here are some options to snazz these up. You can get these little wooden, I call them wooden stickers, that this set came from Hobby Lobby, and you could glue on some of those to the end of it. You could also just tie tassels if you wanted to at the bottom if you're just wanting to add something extra to it. What I ended up doing was I had some of these little mini ornaments that I picked up quite a while ago from Walmart, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and kind of turn these into a more of a farmhouse type ornament. But before I attached my little signs to the bottom, I wanted to go in and kind of dry brush these with some white paint. So I'm going to take my fan brush and a little bit of the Waverly White Chalk paint, and I'm just going to brush it all over the beads.
Well, I'm all for Christmas. It's a magical time full of kisses. Take a walk outside and tickle the snowman's nose.
Once I was done painting, I just took the little signs and I'm just going to hot glue the twine to the back of the little sign. And then where the holes were on these, I just took the little buffalo check ribbon that was with them and I just glued it over the hole to kind of cover that up. And voila, these are all finished. Now, again, you could add little berries in between the beads. There's a lot of variations of different ways you could snazz up these wooden beads, or if you like it simple, you could just leave them plain.
Nimbly, did you hear something from the chimney? I will keep you warm as soon as you remove that snow. Oh, whatever we do, we will be alright. These holiday wonders will open your mind. May all your wishes tonight.
For the last DIY, I wanted to make a little miniature gingerbread garland that I could put in my kitchen. And I'm going to start with this piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock and some of this brown craft paper from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut out a piece of it and use a glue stick to attach it to the cardstock.
The love I live, the dream I knew. This Christmas, I only wanna be close to you.
Once that was secured to the cardstock, I took my cutting mat and my ruler and I just marked columns going every 2.5 inches. And once that was marked out, I just used my paper cutter and I cut all of the lines.
Summer's long gone, baby. The first snow is about to fall. Everybody's waiting for what's to come.
Once the strips were cut, I took my paper cutter again and then I cut these in half at 4.25 inches.
Gather round the chimney, sitting close to keep us warm.
once those were cut, I just went ahead and went in with my whole freehand thing again. I was just feeling brave, I guess, when I was doing these DIYs. And I cut one with the pointy roof, and then I just kind of used that as a template. So there'll be 3 with the pointy roof, and then 2 that kind of have the squared off roof. And then once that was done, I once again grabbed my paint marker, and I just went in and freehanded doing little decorations on the gingerbread house. Now, I will say this. The first coat I went on, it kind of, I wouldn't say it absorbed into the paper, but it was pretty faint. So I did go over it twice, and it still kind of has a very subtle look to it, which I wasn't really digging in the beginning, but then I was like, I kind of like it. It's very, I don't know, gentle, if that even makes sense. A gentle gingerbread house, I'm not really sure, as opposed to some kind of frantic gingerbread house. But anyway, I'm just going to decorate these, and then once that's done, I'm ready to start working on my tassel.
Mistletoe is hanging at the door. Christmas is the time to set your mind and spirit free. Everybody smiling while we decorate the tree. If I could, I wish for you to spend Christmas here with me. Tell me, can you feel it? There is love in the
Now I'm ready to make the tassels, so I'm going to need to make 6 tassels, and I'm just going to use some red and white baker's twine that I got from Michael's. And to do it, I'm just going to use my hand, and I'm going to start the twine on my hand and wrap it around 12 times. And then I'll just take a small piece of the twine again and go ahead and just tie a little knot at the top. And I kind of did it in like stages. So I did all the tassels wrapping around and tied them off. Then I did the next stage, which was to cut the loop of the tassel, and then I fluffed it up, and then took a small piece of twine and just hot glued it at the top to make the little, I think I always call it a pom-pom top, I don't know, the top of the tassel, and I secured it there.
no more feeling lonely or in despair. We give out the presents.
Now I'm ready to pull this thing together. So I'm going to take a piece of the baker's twine, and I'm going to use a felting needle, and I'm just going to start by threading that through the top of the tassels to get those secured to the baker's twine. And then once those were on there, they kind of slid back and forth with a little bit of help from me. I mean, they just weren't willy-nilly sliding, but you know, I could move them. And so I went ahead, like I said, and just put all of the tassels on there. And then for the houses, I was trying to figure out if I wanted to hole punch the top and tie it to it, or if I wanted to use a clothespin on the back of it and clip it. But in the end, I kind of liked the clothespin showing, because then I realized that I could actually use this little thing for Valentine's Day, and I could make some hearts and put it between the red and white. So this is kind of a multi-seasonal piece if you look at it in that sense. So to finish it off, I just took some mini clothespins from Dollar Tree, and I just grabbed a hold of those gingerbread houses, and that was it. This little garland is all finished.
Coming back for more. No one should be sad or left alone. Nothing.
There you have it, 3 more Christmas DIYs that are super affordable to make. As always, I love to know which projects you guys really like, so comment down below and let me know which one of these is your favorite. I'd also like to know, what is your favorite piece of Christmas decor if you do decorate for Christmas? Do you have a special ornament, a wreath? Let me know down below. Thanks so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Here are a couple more videos that you might enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!